Hey guys, new video for you tonight. We are going to be taking a look at the comparison between the original Hot Toys MMS 257 Marty versus the new MMS 573, this time with Einstein. It was one of the videos that was requested, and I do apologize that it's taken me this long to get around to it, just with the newborn. And then I had the original box in storage and whatnot, just pulling it all out and juggling newborn and everything. But here we are. So we are going to do this comparison. I'll just quickly say that I am going to do this in one take. So with all my videos, you know that I don't edit anything or that. I just do it all as one take, so that way you guys can see everything as it is. And then that way there's no audio editing and anything. And yeah, so it's probably going to be a bit of a longer video, and hopefully you find it helpful. I have removed the little plastic trays already, and I've also removed the second little tray that has the headphones and stuff in it from each figure already, just to make it that little bit easier when I'm transitioning through talking about all the little pieces. Going for the comparisons. Okay, so the first thing we can see is that, yes, I did get the original from Sideshow, so it is the exclusive version with the guitar. Just to show that, as to reason why mine has the guitar, yours might not if you have the standard, and then obviously the fact that the new one is the 573. So obviously there's the first indicator of which Marty you're going to have is obviously going to be the shipper. If you don't have the shipper, the box is completely different as well. So let's begin and move on. Also, if there is a figure that you want me to do something like this, I did put up the spreadsheet of my collection. So that spreadsheet is up on the Galaxies page now. You can download it as an Excel and scroll through it. If there's anything you want to see, just let me know. Either tag me in that post with what you want to see, or just message me or make a post on the page. That's fine. I've looked at the Sucker Punch girls for people before. I've done this one. We did, I think it was maybe Malgus. Yeah, we've looked at some things for people before, so I really don't mind doing it. And I mean, the whole point of having a group like this is to share things, right? So I'm here to share. All right, so straight away we can see that there is a significant difference with the box. The original has the Sideshow sticker, and then the Back to the Future logo with the DeLorean flames coming through. Tells us that is Marty McFly, 6-scale collectible figure. You can't really see it, but here in really faint writing, it does tell us that it is MMS 257 and that it is a movie masterpiece series figure. So this continues all the way around. Marty McFly, whoops, have it on the top, have it on the side again, Marty McFly. Where with the new one, I'll just take the old one away. With the new one, we do have the more promotional image of Michael J. Fox looking at his watch. We have the fire, tells us that it is Marty McFly and Einstein this time around. We do have the dates going across the bottom of the box there too, which is really nice. Continues on. And then this side here with the DeLorean teasing that we are getting a re-release of the DeLorean with the fold-up wheels. So that is that. The second difference is obviously going to be the pull-out pieces that we get with the shoebox design. So the original has this dash image here with the credits and the blur. Where the new one, you can see already that they are teasing the new DeLorean again. We have a picture of the Hill Valley there, and then of course the DeLorean, and then the dates from the dashboard, which is really, really quite cool. All right, so there are our figure trays. As I said, the first thing I'm going to be starting with is this. Whoop, there goes the watch. The way the watch is packaged is slightly different as well. I originally thought that the old one, that the new one had a bigger watch, but it's just got a piece of foam in there to keep it from sliding out. But the headphones is there. The Walkman does have a different paint app You can see that it's much more translucent this time around as opposed to original. And yes, I have had the headphones on display, which is why mine are down where these ones are folded. I haven't taken these ones out yet. And you can see that obviously the piece of paper is newer with the new one, so the piece of paper is whiter for the newer one as well. But other than that, you can see that the secondary paint apps are in the same spot. Just that main paint app there is a lot more translucent. This one is still translucent off camera, but it's much harder to see, where this one you can definitely see that it is translucent on camera. So that is the first difference. Both trays do actually sit above the skateboard, and as you can see, the positioning of the skateboard has changed. So I'm just going to bring the camera down this way a bit, and we'll just work through the accessories as we go, I think. We might leave that. All right, so the first thing we're going to look at, we'll go this way. So the backpack, you can see that the new one, the backpack is a lot more padded than the original, and there's more detailing on the bottom here. So the original one didn't have this here, where the new one does. This part here is moved slightly, and then we have the patches there, pretty much identical. This one is a little bit more red, for whatever reason. And then we have the strap. The newer one, so yeah, it's pretty much identical for the most part, but yeah, you can see that there are some changes. This zip here doesn't appear to be on. Oh no, so the new one is just stitched a lot nicer, which is why the zip's hidden, I suppose. So they both have it. You can see there. I think the proportions are a lot smaller on this one, on the newer one, which is why it just comes across that little bit nicer. But yeah, as you can see, there is a definite difference in the red there. But other than that, it's a backpack. I don't believe the zippers function. I'm not going to attempt to get the zippers to function, but there's that there. Of course, the main difference, like I said, the main difference being we get the guitar. This was the exclusive version. You can see that the guitar does have strings, really nice paint apps. Where the new one, we obviously get our boy Einstein. Who again is just really, really nicely done. He's really solid. I love this. I'm going to put him definitely in the DeLorean, I think. All right, skateboards. So as far as I can tell, they are the same size. The paint apps, practically identical. I suppose as you would expect it to be, because it is supposed to be the same skateboard from the same film. And we are pretty much doing a re-release here, with the fact that we only had one difference in accessories. So we have the new camera versus the older camera. Again, I think the paint apps virtually the same, similar to what we saw with the skateboard. This piece here is on a bit of an angle with the old one, where it's straight on the new one. I'm not too sure why that would be, but it just is. But you can see that it is the same, it's definitely the same paint applications. Now, I've just noticed, and I thought I didn't actually notice this when I first reviewed the figure. We don't have the sunglasses with the new one. So these are the original sunglasses. I mean, I've never put them on the figure. But yeah, these are the sunglasses that we get as well. They weren't part of the exclusive set, I don't think. So that's really odd. Both figures do have an identical display stand. I did mention that in the original review. So you can see I still got the plastic on this one. Marty McFly, Back to the Future. It's just some of the plastic that would have been on the figure. (2021, 2015). So there's your date difference. Now I'm just going to check just to see if they're the same, because I haven't swapped out the relax hands on the new one yet, where I had the old one driving the DeLorean. So I'm just going to count, see if they've still got 1, 2. So they do have the same amount of hands, and I would assume that both sets of hands are identical. Just for comparison, we will... So you can see that the skin texture has changed as well. And I suppose that's probably as Hot Toys ups its paint game. But yeah, it's the difference in paint application there. So there is a significant difference in the color of paint used, but the hands are identical with both. So we get the set of hands for driving the DeLorean. We get this kind of gripping hand, right and left. We get that skateboarding hand, and then we get a hand for holding the flyer. And just double checking, flyer hand, steering hand. Yes. So the hands are, I just went through, the hands are identical. It's just that different paint application on them there. All right, so what we'll do now is... Now, I was quite surprised at the difference here. Now, given the fact that I did say one of them is from 2015 and one of them is from 2021 / 2022 when it finally arrived in Australia. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of people have said that they prefer the older one because he does have that skinnier, smaller head. But the paint applications on the new one are fantastic. You can see that the proportions on the red shirt are a lot better on the new one. And I'll just double check that he definitely does have the same. Yeah, just moving the jacket out of the way. He does have the same badges on his second layer jacket there, which is fine. Again, I think the proportions of the clothing is a lot better the new one, as you would expect it to be. Jeans have the same creasing pattern on them. Stitching is different down the side of here, though. They don't have the white. Oh, no, yes, they do. Yep, there it is. So, yeah, I think everything is just neater on the new one. What I'll just see if I can pop these sculpts off. All right. So here are the two sculpts without the figures in the way. So you can see that they are practically the same in a sense. Just one is a lot skinnier looking, and then the facial expression has changed ever so slightly. They are both definitely Michael J. Fox. I don't actually know which one I prefer more, to be honest. Like this one here, the paint ups are definitely better, but I've had this one for so long So yeah, I don't know. I'd probably go off this one, just for the updated paint look, I guess. But yeah, that's that. The applications in the hair is probably a lot more accurate on the new one too. But yeah, that's just really interesting. That there would be that much of a difference. But I suppose, like as I said, given the fact that so much time has passed between the two releases, that it does make sense for there to be differences. So again, I think the puffer jacket is the same color. As I said, there's the shirt, same pattern, proportionate. You can see that the spacing in the pattern's a lot bigger on this one. So this one's a lot tidier. I think that's it. The new clothes and stuff are just a lot tidier. And then you've got that, like I said, that change in, and there's that change in skin color again. Like, the paint apps have just gotten better over time, I think. So yeah, as I said, you can probably argue that one is maybe just a tiny bit lighter than the other. Given the fact, I mean, they're both in the same light there. So I would say this one is probably just a tiny bit lighter. But even like the jeans pockets and everything, you can just see everything is just much more proportionate on the new one. Same shoes. Again, just that tiny bit smaller. Because I suppose we've gotten more accurate over time. But yeah, like I said, the main difference, if I can get this one to look forward. As I said, the main difference is definitely that sculpt. And you can see even from here, it is the same. It is practically the same sculpt. It's just those different paint applications that they've chosen to do with it. So it just depends if you prefer this one, the skinnier looking one, or the new one. And I mean, I'll probably have him in the car anyway, so I'll probably go with this one. Have Einstein in the car with him maybe, and then have Doc outside the car for my display. But yeah, it's just something to keep note of. So as I said, the main depends. If you got the original Marty, this was your extra accessory. If you got the new one, this is your extra accessory. So, as I said, I really wasn't planning on getting this, the second one. The Pop Culture 20% off sale was practically my only reason for getting it, because the aftermarket prices on the Einstein were just so high that I just really wasn't interested in paying anything anywhere near that high. And it was just fortunate enough that he came into stock at the right time, so I jumped on him. Of course, there are obviously other ways that you can get, that you can make the figures more affordable, depending if you use Afterpay or Pay in 4 or whatever it is. But you can't beat you just can't beat a 20% off sale. So, as I said, the main differences are going to be the paint apps and the sculpts of the figure, and those two accessories. I said the biggest difference was the Walkman, because the new one has a much more translucent paint app, where the old one, even though you can see through it, it is that little bit harder to do so. But the paint apps on the skateboard and the camera are practically the same. The paint app on the watch is practically the same, just that the new one has that piece of foam holding it. As I said, the original main difference, other than that Walkman, was the backpack, with this one being much more proportionate to the new one, and just has that little bit of extra detail on the bottom. So yeah, the backpack, the Walkman, and the sculpts are going to be your main differences, other than the fact that one of them has a guitar and one of them has Einstein. I really do hope just fix that up. I really do hope that you have enjoyed this video. As I said, if there is anything you want me to do in terms of reviews and showcases and whatnot, check out that post I made in the group with that Excel spreadsheet. I am probably going to be doing the James Old Toys swap meet in Beanley on the 30th. So I am going to have the last of my Black Series there, and I am going to be taking a couple of 1/6 scale figures. I've got the Hot Toys Optimus that I'm going to take. I've got an Asmus Legolas, the Sideshow Snow Pilot Luke, not War Machine, Whiplash, the die-cast Whiplash. So they're the ones that I'm probably looking at parting with. If I don't, it's going to be no big deal. They'll just sit in storage, I suppose. Whiplash I could probably end up displaying with the original look for him if I choose to. But yeah, I did end up selling that original plastic Mark 7 and the original plastic War Machine. So I no longer have those. And I did end up selling Nightmare Batman and the Mythos Kenobi, just because they were things that just didn't really suit there. And I mean, I had Nightmare Batman with my Endor Rebels. Then I got the Justice League Batflick, so I've decided just to keep that one as my main, because yeah, it's just juggling things. You don't want to have too much, I suppose. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this comparison video. As I do say, I hope it was helpful to you. As I said, there's those differences that I've highlighted, and then the proportions. But other than that, it really depends on if you really want this guy here. Because as I said, this is the star of the new pack for sure. And I would suppose the only real reason why you would buy this figure twice. Because as I said, even though we do have the updated paint, the updated paint is something that I've done without before. So I did not buy the new Two-Face. I've just got the original Two-Face because the only difference was that new paint, and the old one had 2 head sculpts where the new one only had 1. So yeah, as I said, it just depends if you prefer this look. And like I said, even here, this is a really good portrait of Michael J. Fox. Like, that is 2015. That is fantastic. And then we have this, which is still definitely Michael J. Fox. But it just depends on whether you think that the proportions in the face are right. As I said, the new one, I mean, the old one is a lot slimmer in the face, is a lot skinnier. Things are a lot less proportionate. But he's definitely a skinnier, smaller guy. Where this one is just a tiny bit bigger in the face. So yeah, like I said, it really depends. Really depends on what you want out of the set. And for me, I really wanted Einstein. So Einstein was the reason for upgrading. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.